I mean, you weren't upfront in the election, you basically lied, and it wasn't driven by the OBR. It turns out the OBR forecasts weren't that bad. The reason our taxes went up is because the Labour government have chosen to massively increase welfare spending and fund that with taxes. Okay. That is the wrong choice because it is punishing people who work hard and it's rewarding people who don't work. It's a terrible choice and the whole country is going to suffer as a result. The truth is, the top rate of income tax, 45%, couple of percent national insurance on top of that. People earning higher amounts of money are already having almost half their income taken in the form of tax. And the problem is if you push tax too far, people simply leave. People are leaving this country in droves.
But that's
successful
income
people,
tax.
successful
that's
people,
and
people, non-doms are leaving as well with their money, and they're going to places like Dubai, they're going to Milan. If you push it too far, they just leave. And under this Labour government, successful people are leaving in their droves. Now, on the cost of living question, on energy bills, I mean, he mentions 150 quid off. I think that's for 1 year. Energy prices under this Labour government have already gone up by £300 since the election. The tax increase, I do agree with Faisal on the tax increases for working people. The Labour government yesterday put up taxes on working people, or last week, by their own admission, and the increase in income tax effectively dwarfs by orders of magnitude the little tiny 1 year giveaway on energy, and all of that makes the cost of living in this city and across the country a lot harder. It pushes up prices because businesses end up, passing those costs on. That national insurance increase in the last Labour budget, £25 billion, is one of the reasons prices are going up because businesses pass that on to their customers. We've now seen 2 budgets in a row where this Labour government, who told us, by the way, before the election, they had no plans to raise tax. That was a complete lie. They've now done it twice in a row, and that is why people are suffering a cost of living crisis. Because if you put tax up like this, it ends up going on to prices in the end. So it is a direct consequence of the choices this Labour government has made. And look, if they were being honest, they would have said before the election, we want to spend more money on welfare, which I don't agree with, and we're going to put up taxes to pay for it. That would have been the honest thing to do. Yeah. That's what they've done. But they didn't. They lied. They said, we've got no plans to raise taxes. Completely untrue.
So let James...
Well, it's a question of fairness, because why should people who work really hard, get up in the morning, work hard, pay their taxes, now even higher taxes thanks to Labour, probably themselves only have a couple of kids because it's all they can afford, why should their taxes pay for benefits to someone else to have 3, 4, 5, 6 kids?
But a lot of these people who get this benefit do work.
3, 4, 5 kids, but many don't. Have 3, 4, 5 kids they can't afford. It is a choice to have a kid. Most people think carefully before doing so. I've only got 2 children. People think carefully. So why should those in receipt of benefits that are funded by taxpayers be able to receive those without limitation? Okay. So it's, first of all, I think, just fundamentally unfair. Secondly, it's also, unaffordable. It costs, £3 billion or something. Yeah. And they've put up taxes on businesses, put up taxes on working people in order to fund this. They didn't flag it before the election. In fact, before the election, they expressly said they wouldn't do this, another Labour lie. But it's really, for me, it's not so much about the money, it's really about the fairness. Well, I think this is really a symptom of the housing crisis in London. Of course, the country has a housing crisis, but it is most acute in London. And the truth is, we're not building enough homes to keep up with population growth. And when you have something that gets highly in demand or very scarce, the price of it goes up. That's why rents and prices are so unaffordable. So the solution, I will agree with James, the solution is to build more homes, particularly in London, in the right places. I'm not talking about Greenbelt. In the right places. But unfortunately, under Sadiq Khan, housing starts this year have slowed to a pitiful trickle. I think, according to Molior, this year is going to be the lowest for housing starts in London since the great financial crisis back in 2009. So Sadiq Khan has a lot to answer for when it comes to that. There's regulation that's causing a problem. There's this thing called Gateway 2 that makes it very, very hard to build tall buildings. There's a massive backlog of tall buildings which aren't getting progressed because of this regulation. So there's quite a lot, and it may be something you could take up as a minister. There's a lot to do to get...
Let me bring Faisal.